They said beauty would open doors, but nobody told her character was the key that kept them from shutting in her face.
The story of Zaina Adeyemi, the girl who thought being beautiful was enough. But life humbled her.
Zaina Adeyemi was the kind of girl people stared at twice, not just once. Even in the chaotic streets of Lagos, where beauty often blurred into the crowd, Zaina stood out like a sunrise in Makoko. Her mother always said she looked like an answer to a prayer God had whispered in her sleep. She was tall, dark-skinned with a kind of glow that didn't need light to be noticed. Her eyes, sharp, deliberate. Like they knew she was made for something bigger than her father's small tailoring shop in Mushin. Beauty no blessing, but character no covering, her father always warned. But Zaina didn't always listen to warnings, especially when the world adored her and started offering her chances to shine. It began on a humid Saturday in Suralia. Zaina stepped onto the local stage of the Miss Mainland Lagos pageant, a small competition organized by youth ministers and volunteers. Her best friend, Moyo, had signed her up. "See, you too fine to be hiding inside tailor shop," Moyo had said, adjusting Zaina's simple thrifted dress. Zaina strutted. She smiled. She answered the judges' questions with wit and grace. When she won, the crowd chanted her name. Her heart didn't feel like her own anymore, it belonged to the glory. One of the sponsors, a man named Dami, pulled her aside. "You've got real talent. Real star power. Let me introduce you to people who matter in this city." And that's how it started. Hey family, are you enjoying the story? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This just the start. Zaina's first real taste of the Lagos celebrity scene began at a rooftop party in Lekki. She was invited by Dami. The city lights sparkled around her like they were clapping. Musicians, influencers, actors, they all brushed past her with practiced charm. Zaina felt her heart rise. "This is what I was born for." She caught the eye of Gok, one of the most respected music producers in Nigeria, famous both for making careers and breaking them. "You look like trouble," he told her, half smiling. "I plan to be unforgettable," she replied confidently. And in that moment, Gok knew he had found a raw gem, or was it a ticking time bomb? Charm is deceitful, and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. Zaina had charm. She had beauty. But what she didn't have was the understanding that charm and beauty fade, while character remains. Gok made Zaina an offer, not a record deal, yet. But something else. He'd help build her brand, connect her with stylists, photographers, casting agents, if she would always pick his calls and take certain meetings, even at odd hours. Zaina hesitated. This was how stars were made, she told herself. Maybe good girls don't go far. And in that moment, she took the first step away from who she was raised to be. So, if this were you, what would you have done? Let us know in the comment section, you might help someone watching. The next few months of Zaina's life came like a whirlwind: photo shoots, events, VIP access, camera flashes, even a feature in a rising Afrobeat star's music video. She was no longer the girl from Mushin. She had become Zaina Adeyemi, the face people argued about on Twitter, the voice bloggers whispered about. Everywhere she turned, attention found her. Men wanted her. Brands wanted her. And she wanted more. But in the middle of all that glitz and glamour, Zaina's parents began to worry. Her father would look at her magazine features with furrowed brows. Zaina, fame without foundation, not like building on sand. One wave fit carry everything go, he'd say. But she barely heard him anymore. The lights were too bright, the applause too loud. It was at a high-end industry event in Victoria Island, Zaina in a gold gown, face beat, cameras flashing non-stop, when she realized beauty was starting to cost her something far deeper. She was standing in a room full of people, but felt painfully alone. That night, Go called her aside. "Zaina, you're turning into a brand, not a person. You need a scandal. Something spicy. Something that sets you apart." Zaina blinked. "A scandal?" Go leaned in. "Fame can be fed by music or movies, but it explodes with controversy. You want to stay on top. You need to give the people something to talk about." Zaina didn't respond, but her spirit trembled. Something inside her knew this path was turning dark.
When the lights are the brightest, shadows are the darkest. And the deeper the fame, the heavier the fall.
Then came Johnson Bello, a fast-talking, smooth-smiling TV personality with the kind of voice that made even lies sound like poetry. He liked Zaina at first sight, but not the way she would have wanted. To him, she was a stepping stone. A trophy. A trending hashtag waiting to happen. Zaina didn't know that. To her, Johnson felt like a dream. He made time to show up, sent her flowers, told her stories about fighting his way up in the industry. She felt safe, until she wasn't. One night, after a viral video falsely claimed she had snatched someone's boyfriend, Zaina's entire brand began to slip. Contracts were reconsidered. Her followers started turning against her, one trending topic after another. She thought Johnson would be there to build her back up. He didn't even respond to her calls. For what shall it profit a man, if he shall gain the whole world, and lose his own soul? Zaina had gained the world. But slowly, she was losing herself. When the drumbeat changes, the dance must change too. Zaina's world was changing. She didn't realize that the beat was no longer beautiful, and she didn't know how to stop dancing. Are you feeling this story? It get as it be, right? If you've ever felt lost in the middle of success pressure, drop a comment below. And don't forget, hit that like button, and subscribe if you want more real-life Nigerian stories with meaning. Nothing falls faster than a star that forgets the sky that placed it there. When the world loved Zaina, the love came like wildfire, full of heat, full of noise. But when the tides turned, the hatred came even faster. Everything happened within 2 weeks. First, the scandal. Then the interview she did while emotional, crying, looking weak, saying things she later regretted. Her once massive fan base split in two, some still held her up, but most quickly moved on. Brands dropped her like stale bread. Gossip blogs didn't let up. Even the friends who used to scream "Z baby" whenever she walked in a room suddenly stopped returning her messages. Unlike a badly written script, Johnson Bello, her love interest, released his own scripted apology video, distancing himself completely. The comments read, "She's done. No coming back from this. Talent without manners, no nonsense. Beauty cannot save a bad attitude." Zaina thought it was unfair. Was she really so horrible? She just wanted to matter. To be loved. To be seen. But in chasing applause, she forgot about being real.
Sometimes, the cost of having everything is losing who you are.
Zaina, I warned you. A name built on hype will fall with hype. This industry, it won't protect you from yourself.
But I never thought I was enough. Without all this.
Beauty had gotten her in, but pride was pushing her out.
It wasn't until Zaina's father showed up at her doorstep in Lekki, holding a worn-out Bible and carrying a sadness in his eyes, that her mask finally shattered. He didn't scold her. He didn't say, "I told you so." He just said softly, "Zaina, no matter where you go, your name is still Adeyemi. It means the crown fits me. But the crown don't sit well on a head that's bowed in shame." Zaina broke down. That night, she did something she hadn't done in a long time. She prayed. She opened the Bible her mother had given her, and her eyes landed, by chance or by grace, on Proverbs 16 verse 18. Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. She wept. Not because she hated herself, but because she finally realized what she was becoming, and what she still had time to change. Family, this story dey touch you too. No forget to like the video, share it, and subscribe if you feel these lessons deep. You self get testimony. Drop am in the comments. I dey read all of una messages. Dem no dey by character for market. You create am every day by how you treat others. Now that Zaina had lost the platform, the fame, the fancy invitations, she was left with just one thing: herself. Zaina stepped out of fame into silence. Gone were the flashing cameras. Gone were the parties. Gone were the friends who swore they'd ride with her for life. What remained was quiet. And in the quiet, she heard herself again. She moved back to Mushin. Yes, back to where it all began. People whispered. Some pitied her. Some mocked her. But she wasn't there for them. She was there to find her voice again, the one that fame had made her doubt. Zaina walked into her father's tailoring shop. The smell of fabric, the clicking of scissors, the familiar sight of her father hunched over a sewing machine, it felt like grace itself. Her father didn't say much. He just offered a gentle smile and a stool. Sit. Sometimes, the first thing to fix is the memory of who you were. And so she sat. Started helping customers. Started listening more than she spoke. Started reading again. Every day was a tiny stitch, mending a part of her soul she didn't even realize was torn. One morning, her mother sent her a text with this verse: "Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me." Psalm 51 verse 10. Zaina wept. She had spent so much time trying to be seen, she forgot how freeing it was to simply be known. One afternoon, Moyo, her longtime friend, came to the shop. They are doing a youth mentorship program at the community center. They need someone to talk to young girls about self-worth and choices. I think that person is you. Zaina hesitated. She wasn't sure if she had anything worth saying anymore. But she went. That day changed everything. She walked into a dusty little hall filled with teenage girls, girls who looked at her not with judgment, but with hope. Girls who struggled with acceptance, with pressure, with wanting to belong. She didn't preach. She just told her story. Honestly. Painfully. Beautifully. When she finished, a few girls were crying. One stood up and said, "Thank you. You made me feel like I don't have to be perfect to matter." In that moment, Zaina knew this was the platform God actually wanted her on. When she stopped chasing applause, she found purpose. When she lost her fake crown, God gave her a real one. Zaina started partnering with local nonprofits. She used her platform not to sell beauty cream or tea detox plans, but to uplift, educate, and bring awareness to self-esteem and emotional resilience in young girls. Slowly, her reputation was reborn, not as a fallen star, but as a woman with grace, wisdom, and character. Even the media began to notice. They say Lagos never forgets. But what they don't tell you is, Lagos can forgive, if you give them something real. One morning, Zaina got a call from Post TV. They wanted to do a feature on her story, not the scandal, not the fall, but the healing. The transformation. The girl who once dazzled with beauty, now shining with depth and purpose. She almost said no. But her father, sitting beside her at the breakfast table, placed a gentle hand over hers. "Zaina, you fell in the public eye. Don't be afraid to rise there too." So she agreed. The cameras were on, but this time, so was her heart. Zaina sat in a studio, not in gold gowns, not in designer heels, but in a simple dress and natural hair tied back. Her face glowed, not with makeup, but peace. The interviewer asked her, "If you could go back, what would you tell the girl who entered this industry?" Zaina took a deep breath. "I tell her that talent can get you on the stage, but character keeps you from being dragged off it. I tell her that beauty is a gift, but without humility, it becomes a trap. I tell her to never let applause drown out the voice of God." The interviewer nodded, visibly moved. Zaina's words broke the internet, not as clickbait, but as clarity. Blogs that once mocked her now praised her courage. Invitations flowed in, not for fashion spreads or red carpets, but to speak, to teach, to mentor. To leave a legacy. She didn't rush. She chose carefully. She remembered who she was now. And who she served. Your gifts are beautiful. Your talents are powerful. But your character is your destiny. Don't build a life so tall that it collapses under the weight of who you refuse to become. Some crowns are made of gold. Others are made in fire. Hers was both. Character is like smoke. You can't see it all the time, but when the wind of life blows, it's the only thing left. Zaina learned the hard way, what the world gives easily, it can snatch even faster. But what you build in truth, humility, faith, nothing can take away. Her journey became proof of the proverb. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with good character. And the scripture she lived by. Proverbs 22 verse 1. A good name is to be chosen rather than great riches, and favor is better than silver or gold. If this story touched your soul, don't leave without showing love. Hit that like button, click subscribe, and turn on your notifications. Help us keep sharing stories that heal, uplift, and inspire. You never know, your support today could be the reason someone else finds hope tomorrow. God bless you.